Am I up? All right. Good evening and welcome to the February 8, 2022 Planning Commission meeting. I need approval of the minutes for the January 11, 2022 meeting.
So moved. I'll support that. I'll support Dave.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Communications from the audience for items that are not listed as a public hearing on the agenda can come forward at this time. Anything that does have a public hearing has an asterisk next to it. No. Unfinished business, there is none. New business, 173 West 20th Street, a planned unit development site plan amendment for revised parking plan. Applicant is Matthew Mocked. And if the applicant would like to come, is there some confusion as to? No? Okay. The applicant can come forward and speak to this development at this time.
My name is Ed Zweigheisen. I'm actually with Gen 1 Architectural Group. The owners and applicant could not be here today, both of them again. So I get to be here one more time saying hello. Hello again. So I'll give just a brief overview. It is explained well in the packet that you do have. We are reducing the parking by 3 spaces, which gives us a total of 7. It's still one more than we need. We ran into some issues with the stormwater and stormwater retention with trying to house that water underneath that parking area and make the city of Holland happy with the retention policies and getting it into the system. So we did come up with this idea of reducing the parking. Again, still gives us adequate parking for the city requirements, and then actually does help us out with green space and getting a little more fun area on the lot itself. So really it's an amendment, which you do see in your packet side-by-side drawings that do show it used to be a parking lot that went all the way through. We took the center out, which gives us natural drainage instead of drainage under the parking. And there's your overview. And if there's any questions, I'm here.
Does anyone on the Planning Commission have a question for the applicant? No? Okay. Great. Stephen, did you have something to add?
Real quick, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple things that I wanted to point out. Mentioned earlier, the site plan is probably a little bit different than what you remember. Really, that's because they have revised it to comply with the requirements that the Planning Commission had made previously. One maybe obvious point there is you see on that landscaping along the west side, a large gap, what looks like a gap. We had them keep that existing large tree there. So that was one of the revisions that, one of the conditions that we had. So I guess I just wanted to point out that the plan that you're looking at is really accommodating the requirements or the conditions that you had made previously, in addition to the change of reducing the number of parking spaces. And then maybe just to real quickly point out, it was in your packet. They had provided their rationale for some of these changes as well, so you kind of have that. The conditions that are in the staff report I would describe as normal staff conditions from the different departments at City Hall. Probably one that I wanted to highlight was from BPW. The electric folks made the comment that recently electric service to this site was put underground. It is in that same area where the underground detention or where this green space is now, so it probably is a benefit to that as well. And they make the comment that if they have to do any revisions to that underground, that will of course be on the applicant. So that's really all I wanted to add.
Was there also a change in the garbage?
So there was some slight modifications to the site, just with some, because of how they were changing this. So they have the, shown on the site there where they have the carts. So very small modifications to that, but they've shown how they've accommodated that same thing, but it slightly modified where they were putting those.
All right. Any other questions from commission members? No? All right, this does require a public hearing. If anyone would like to come forward on this item, you can do so now. No? Okay, I will close the public hearing. Any motions, comments from commission members? Or discussion?
I move to approve.
I'll second that.
Someone other than Dave? Yeah.
He was slow.
Whoa. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. No. All right. Thank you very much for coming in again. All right, next item is bylaws and rules of procedure discussion. So Stephen, are you leading that discussion for us?
Sure, I'll try.
All right.
So our bylaws require that we review these at our first meeting in February. So that's why we put that in your packet. I guess I just wanted to highlight a couple things here. One, our bylaws require that we elect a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary. As Jen has pointed out already, that really doesn't mean much for the secretary position. Looking back at some previous versions of our bylaws, we maybe just recently added that requirement. My guess is it's because it's required in the state law. It says we have to elect the chair or the secretary as well as the chair. So my guess is we were probably just trying to comply with the state law. It probably makes some sense in maybe some smaller communities where they don't have the staff to do that, but that's why I think that's really in there. So that is something that we should elect as well as you do your other officer positions. And then I made the comment that suggesting that we also have something in there that prohibits the vice chair from or the ex officio members, which is essentially the mayor and any council member, from being officers. It really only says in the state law, it really only says for chairman, but my sense is that it would be kind of awkward then if we had one of them serve as the vice chair and then they get bumped up to the chairman position. So my suggestion is that we just sort of remove that slight conflict and just not have those folks be officers. So I've put some suggested language that I tried to highlight in yellow there for a small revision to our bylaws. Interesting that our bylaws require that there's a vote of 6 people for any kind of changes to our bylaws. So it's not just a simple majority, at least 6 people need to vote for that. So just wanted to point that out. And then I just wanted to highlight in the bylaws a couple areas that I think are interesting or important. We do require that planning commission members get some training. So I think a couple of you have already done or signed up for that. So that was something I wanted to point out. We do have a section in there about conflict of interest, so which gives you some guidance if you think there's a conflict. And then ex parte communication, which I always think is important to remember. I know you get bugged by a lot of people and they want to talk to you, which of course is fine, but there are some procedures in there about how to handle that. If somebody is talking to you about a development, you go out to do a site visit, as you were mentioning earlier, and somebody wants to talk to you about that. So there's some procedures important to remember. What I've always suggested to people is to just remind them that, hey, look at all the communication, all the discussion really needs to happen at the Planning Commission meeting. So if you've got comments, come to those meetings. I've encouraged people to use that as sort of dealing with maybe that awkwardness if you didn't really want to talk to them about that. So I just think that's an important piece of our bylaws as well, and one that I always like to point out. So that's what I had for you for the bylaws tonight.
Thanks. So you're the applicant?
I guess. I guess.
Steve, is there some reason why you didn't add secretary to the list of the 3, that the ex officio members can't?
Yeah, because, I guess because the state law says to serve as the chairman, and our bylaws don't say that the secretary becomes the chairman.
Yeah.
I think that's a normal process for how a lot of places may do that, but we don't, our bylaws don't say that the secretary becomes, you guys would have to
Vice
just
chair, yeah. Okay.
nominate somebody.
I'm good.
Okay. So you are looking for a motion on making those changes?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I would like a vote on that if that felt appropriate.
Okay. Any discussion or motions from commission members on that?
I like the idea of the ex officio members not being the chair or the vice chair. I think that makes an awful lot of sense in this
It
regard.
removes a conflict of interest
Mhm.
potentially, yep.
Mhm. I'm also not going to make the motion for that same reason.
I'll make the motion to approve the changes to the bylaws.
I'd support that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. All right. Thanks, Stephen, for bringing that to us. It's always good to update those every once in a while. Now is the time of the election of officers. We do need to elect a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary. Currently, the vice chair is Dave DeBlock, and the chair is myself. And
I
we do
would-
not have a secretary, correct?
Right. So I
So-
would nominate Brooke, if you're willing to continue.
I can't hear you, Dave.
Oh, should I take my mask off? Nominate Brooke to be our chairperson.
I'll support that.
Jeff, you're so new. I'm surprised.
I move we close nominations for chair.
Support.
For,
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side. All right, moving on to vice chair.
I nominate Dave DeBlock to continue as vice chair.
I support.
I'd be willing to do that.
And I move we close nominations on vice chair.
Support.
Oh, man, you guys have a script going, don't you? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. All right. Election of secretary.
Jennifer, I would nominate Jennifer. as-
Wow, Dave, that was so fast.
I'll support.
Need to be specific
You
with
need
the
to-
last name.
Yeah.
And all
Oh,
the
and-
Do you know
letters,
which
not just
Jennifer you're
O.
talking about?
Oh.
Owens? You're talking about
We
Jennifer
can't say
Owens?
O either. You
No,
have
you
to be
can't say
really
O.
specific.
Yeah,
I
you
know,
can't say
it's
O.
true. How did you guys do that? Anyway, Owens.
We get each other's email
We
all
do.
the time
I'm
too.
sure.
It's an issue.
Okay. I mean, somebody has to use their middle name.
Right?
Well, we probably have the same.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Mine's not Lynn or anything.
All right, so the election of secretary goes to Jennifer Owens,
Yes.
correct?
Is that correct?
All right.
Do we have support?
I'll
I
support. Yeah.
I move we
Ooh.
close nominations.
Oh, that was
Support.
quick. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nobody's opposed. Great, Jennifer. You ready for this?
It seems like it's a heavy load to like,
That was good on your resume.
right. Mallory, do not miss a meeting.
She cannot be out.
You're gonna be number 3 in line, chair of meeting.
Like the designated survivor or something like that.
There you go. Yeah, that's not going there.
Mm-mm. Dave, are we going to be at the next meeting?
I believe so.
I don't know.
Oh, shoot, don't do that.
All right. That is done. Communications and petitions, scheduling of public hearings, there are none, correct?
We have the shoreline flats, that'll be the public hearing, and
But that is already scheduled, correct?
we are, yes.
Okay. And then communications from commission members? Anything? No? Communications from staff.
Maybe just a reminder. I know
Steve,
the
is your mic on?
Sorry. Maybe just a reminder, the non-motorized plan is out there, or the study is out there right now. So if you get an opportunity to take the survey, please do so. If you haven't seen it, I can certainly send it around to you. Just a reminder, tell your friends and family to take a look at that too.
Would you mind sending it to us?
Yep.
That'd be great. Thank you. All right, motion for adjournment?
So moved?
Support.
We were waiting for that. All those in favor, say goodbye. Goodbye.
Aye.